Good morning, everyone. This is Chicks TV again. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today, Carolina's in charge of the studio, so we've had a little technical difficulty. However, we are here for you. And Coach Caren has been so patient with us today. So we're going to get this party started. Coach, what's up today?
Today we're talking about money management. Hi, folks.
Got my pen.
Thank you for joining us live, and thank you for all the replay viewers who pop in and have a look at us. And all this month we talk about money. We talk about it in different forms, in understanding your brain, really and truly how you feel and all that stuff. And I'm going to end it off with money management this month because June month we're going to go straight into really profits and data. We're going to talk about pricing. We're going to talk about your all that sort of sweet stuff for the next half of the year. I'm going to be really talking a lot about pushing you to get you where you need to be. I'm going to be pumping that a lot. I'm going to bring slides and all that sort of stuff. But for today, we're talking about money management. And I think this is a good putting your tip in the water today to prepare you for next month, okay? Because the next half of the year is upon us. It doesn't matter what's going on. I took a picture, side notes, took a picture out my bedroom window as my tree was empty and as it started growing leaves and as it started falling out. And when the sun come up and I saw the leaves, I was like, I always have this scenario about it. The tree doesn't care what's happening. It's going to bear those leaves. So you,
Yes,
as a business owner, I'm not saying you shouldn't care what's happening. Care as much as you can, but don't let that care take over your processes. Don't let that care take over you're not doing or not taking action. Because when you don't, the year is going to finish. You can want to cancel 2020 if you want to join those folks, but it's not being canceled. It is here. You deal with it. So you get to talk about it in 2021 and you get to feel proud of yourself of all the little steps you make in 21 that's going to be profitable for you in 2021. You're not going to be profitable in 2021 if you're not doing anything in 2020. It's not a magic pill. Nobody, they start off, they might have a big heading telling you how much they make, what they did. But if you listen to them, you'll start listening to all the other things that they had done for years with nothing happening. And then suddenly things start happening because they decide. And they will also tell you that the people who is really transparent will say to you, hey, it took me a long time. And it's not only going to take you time, but had I own up to, admit, confess, not to anybody, but to myself, I would have gotten there sooner. But I spent a lot of time going behind. And part of it is money management. This part is a hard part. And I know it's hard for a lot of people. And you got to get this on the wraps, people. You got to get this on the wraps. That's when you're going to see profits in your business. You got to track your expense and savings. And yes, I am going to speak a little bit on savings because we always hear, don't bother save any money. It's a waste of time saving your money. Don't worry. But listen, if you don't have that habit, you're not going to do other things. So saving is part of forming your habit. When you get that habit in place, then you'll invest because it's like another part of your saving habit. Because could you imagine if you never save any money and you just went, hi Brenna, and you just went in and start investing and you lost all your money, you're going to freak out and say, I'm never going to do this again. This is not fun. This is why I never invested. This is why I never do anything. So you have to understand habit and you got to find out who you are as a person. And the only way you do that, it didn't matter how much I preach, you got to actually do it to find out how you behave when you lost money, whether intentionally or not, because yes, that happens. And you have to understand how you manage your money. Here's the third part that sometimes we don't even speak on. And I know I don't speak on it a lot. There's a lot of damage get done to us when we have debt, been in debt, and come out of debt. There's this part where this healing has to take place. Just like if you lost, because it's a loss when you're in debt. It's this debt that happened. That's why it's called debt, if it's spelled differently. You really grieve this part. And when the grief is happening, you have to identify the feelings that's going on with the grief. Because if you don't, you stay in that grief mood without understanding you're in that grief mood. Which means you do a lot of things, hi Nicole, that you really, if you were being conscious, wouldn't do it. It's a lot of subconscious movements are happening. and you do a lot of guilt, you feel guilty, a lot of blaming whenever you're
That's
out of it.
true.
And then you get back into it because you spend a lot of time in that grief blaming mood. So you don't even see that you're gradually getting back into it. But you do.
Mm.
And that's why most people get back into it. So for the people who are not getting back to it, is managing their money, their understanding. They went through the grief period, they seek help if they find that they couldn't do it themselves, and then they go through the processing. And it's not as simple as 3 weeks and get out of debt and I'm okay. Once you're done, and if you're not sure of yourself, you really need to get counsel so that you can continue on this upward climb to where you need to be. And all
Mm.
that have to do with managing your money. Well, I don't want you to spend a dollar and freak out every time you spend a dollar. Because if you
Thank you, because I don't want to go to money jail. Okay, please don't send me to money jail.
no, I'm not one of those. When I say manage your money well, all I'm saying is get the expenses under control. Know what they are. Don't let them become a monster to you so you're afraid of them. Like, see them for what they are. Whatever that bill is, jot it down, what time it needs to be paid, and get it paid. If you were planning to get coaching, for example,
Hmm.
and you had a session, you said, this is what I want to do, then you're saving towards the to get the coaching. But you're not going to not have things that you know you like to get the coaching. You're gonna have to line them up simultaneously. I need to save X amount of money for coaching, but I could have 2 coffees a week instead of 5 coffees. To take all the coffees away from that person, you know what's gonna happen. They're gonna just go crazy and buy double the time coffee, but they don't even realize they're doing that because you've taken away from them. You can't take away everything from people. That approach.
Thank you. Because what happens is we're going to rebel. You know
Yes,
what I mean?
yes. Same with weight. When you tell people all the things they can't eat, those are the very same things they're going to eat.
Okay, we're going to be looking for that stuff. We're going to be looking. Look, we're going to be at the store. Say, do you have any
Exactly.
the exact thing that we were supposed to be quote unquote um, not eating?
Not eating. So the same goes for our money. And here's the other
Mhm.
part too. When we don't want to also, because we're business women here, we don't want to be selling things where people is asking back for their money. Let it
No,
happen. We don't want to be doing that. And here what happened. When you are doing certain things with yourself, it reflects back on your business. And that's what keep happening. Now, I'm not here to tell you that 100% people are going to buy from you and not two or three want to return. That's okay. But you don't want half of the sale returned. You don't want the majority of the sale returned. No, no, no.
no.
So you have to situate you, and so that you can recognize if the person who come to buy is not ready to buy. This is the other thing. You can turn them away so you don't have to deal with
Oh
that. This
wow.
is important to know, that even if you're hungry and starving, you can recognize when the client is not for you, and you can just not use them and not surface them, not sell them your product. This is okay to say this product is not for you. This is why most course creators will have a list of who it's not for and who it's for. I was looking at a
Hmm.
commercial yesterday, and one of the things I was laughing because I said, this commercial is not for me. But I was laughing because the way it was developed, it tells me right away when I saw it, I'm not their target audience. But it was
Okay.
funny, right? But they're targeting certain people that this is going to trigger them to buy. It's not for me. And that's how you want to set up your business. The people who it's for raise their hands. The people who is not, they eliminate themselves, and you don't have to worry about it.
Okay.
And you don't have the returns and all this nonsense, right? And you over
Hmm.
deliver whatever you say you're going to do. You surprise them like nobody's business. Think about it. You got something in the mail. I remember once I bought a stamp from a lady on Etsy. And the stamp was my company name on it. And she had a little letter in there thanking me for supporting her. And, these beautiful stickers with it. And she appreciated my business and asked me if I'm in business myself. She knows my business name, but she wanted to know if she can do anything for me. I think she went, but she didn't need to do all of that. But just the way she presented it, I was so pleased that I did tell quite a few people, if you're looking for stamp, this is your girl. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Exactly.
She took
Wow.
the time to do all that sort of stuff. And I sent over 12 people to her, and she emailed and thanked me and said, Oh, so and so said you send them to me. I just want you to know I received it. Thank you. Like she didn't just other than the package, she emailed to thank me for the referrals. And so
There you
but
go.
she know herself. And she went through a processes. It was a little pricey, but she allowed me to tell her what I want. She sent digital mock-ups to be sure that the lettering and the way it must look would be okay before she did it. And I had contacted about two or three of them, but she stood out because the rest was didn't do that. Didn't do all of that. it was
Hmm.
it was cheaper, but it was like I know what you want, and I'll do it for you. Here's how much it costs. She went the extra mile.
There you go. So you're saying what? That we need to find our audience. We
Oh, for
need to
sure.
serve them well,
Oh, for sure.
and then we need to manage the money that comes in. Is that what you're saying?
That's part of what I'm saying. The
Okay.
first part is you need to manage your money first before you even do the business. Because you guys,
Ah.
I always talk about business as an extension of you. So you need to manage your personal money first. You need to
Oh.
understand
Okay.
and manage your personal money first. And this is not to starve you from anything. No, 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 no. This is not telling you not to buy anything. No, no, no. This is just simply saying manage your money well.
Okay. I have a question now.
Yes.
A lot of people go into business because they need to get out of debt.
Yes.
Okay. So how do we manage our money if we're already in debt and we're trying to run a business to mitigate those circumstances, to get rid of that stuff?
If you were in debt and you want to start a business, this is the you're going to be the most honest and more clear and vulnerable to yourself in the mirror. That's your queen watching back at you. You're going to have to. You're going to get there.
Hmm.
You're going to say, I used to have this say, you're going to say, I owe blah blah amount of money. And if at the moment you were feeling sad, you would say, I feel sad about it, or I feel angry about it. Like you set up four columns, right? You write the statement, you set up four columns. Then you said what you're going to do about it and the date you're going to do it. And every single debt, I want you to go and actually do that with. So let's say you had a stack of about six debts, right? You stack those
Hmm.
up, you put everything down, and it's there for you. If you're shy, keep it close to you, but in a book where you can open it every day. The minute you start on whatever you're doing, I want you to expose yourself. Secrets is funny. They will nip away at you. If you could get brave enough, and I encourage you to try to get brave enough, to put it on your fridge or initially put it
Hmm.
on your bed head and then move it out into the fridge, move it out into the open. Be real with it. Now, that's out there. Good. What's next? Well, kind of have no other money. Every time I hear this, I want to say to everybody and scream, you have money. You just haven't seen the money that you do have. Now, here's
Hmm.
number two. You're going to go look for money. You're going and look for money. How do I mean? You're looking in your purse, you're looking in all the pockets in your pants and your shirts, or everywhere. You're looking for money. Why? Because we have a habit as human of slipping dollars in our pocket and forgetting about that. And I want you to go search for money. I want you to go look at your bank account and see, I don't care what it is. Whatever number money you find, I want you to put it up. I have money. I have X amount of dollars. I want you to write that because I want your brain to register that you actually have money. So every time
Hmm.
it says to you, I have no money, you say, you're lying. I have money. I know you're going to come back with it's not a lot. That's fine, but you have money. So that statement needs to go. All right. Let's say you found no money. I want you to now go around your house and see things that you don't need and put a price mark on it, a number on it, $10, $5, whatever that number is, put it on there. And then I want you add it up and see how much money you have. If it's things that could be sold, you sell them unless you need it. If you don't need it, you sell it. If you want it, you sell it. It's only about need. Because if you're going to take that money to invest in your business, then you need to get rid of the thing. And the reason I want you to do this first, even though somebody might could lend you money, it's because you have to have yourself invested in before you borrow. I really don't want you to borrow, but if that's the only option, I want you to be invested. And when I say borrow, it could be a credit card because credit card is a loan because you paid
Mhm.
interest on it. But I'm speaking of your own money that won't cost you any interest at the moment, would just be your money that you found and you can invest. Now, here's the thing. Let's say all you got was $20 that you found.
Mhm.
Your job is to ask yourself, how could I invest $20 to give me X amount of return? And for some people, it's really difficult. And for others, they can come up with something. I want you to not beat yourself up if it takes you 2 to 3 days to do it, because you got to give yourself the time. Here's the other thing, when things come up, if you hear in your spirit that you should reach out to Terry, reach out to Caren, stop questioning, reach out to the person. They probably have an idea that would spark another idea for you.
That's what we do at Biz Chicks. We really we really are brainstormers. We really can help you come up with stuff. I
Right.
mean, and
So
it
you
it
alone might think about it, but together, there's people who is going to see things in you that you haven't yet seen in yourself. So that
yes.
$20 will be able to expand. Once you understand that's what you're going to do, you're gonna have to be laser focused. Because if you're not laser focused, all of a sudden, not all of a sudden, but all of a sudden, you're going to think it cannot work. But it could work. It could work. I tell people all the time you could start a business without money, but you need money to keep growing the business.
Mhm.
So once you understand what this $20 is going to do with you and you're laser focused, now we're going to peel back the onion and we're gonna talk about money that is not there yet. And this is a good place to be in, even though people don't like it. I tell you, when you have no money, it's the best time to talk about money because you can dream big, because there's no blockage, because you got none, and you can talk about it. You can put yourself in a place that you've never been before because there's nothing. There's nowhere else to go from here. There's nothing around. I am now figuring, I'm now dreaming, I'm now placing myself. And I tell people, I want you to place yourself in a place that you've never been. So if you've never had $100 freely in your hand, you've always had to just pay a bill with it, that's where you place yourself. The bigger dream is where you really, really, really want to be. It must be outstanding. If you ever think I want to be a billionaire, then that's where I want you to go. I want you to go there. I want you to fight everything inside of you, and I want you to go there. For some people, they can get there in a week. For some people, it could be all a month before they can see themselves as a billionaire. Matter of fact, a whole year. But I want you to do it. I want you to put the number down. And I don't want you to worry about when you're going to get there. I just want you to put the number down.
Okay. Well, we got a comment here from Brenna.
Brenna.
She says, manage your own food, including coffee, eliminate frugal transactions, think of how you feel once your debt is paid off. Tell yourself, I manage my money well and responsibly. I like that because that's what you said. We got to talk differently
Yep.
to ourselves. Statements proactive. I sold succulent scapes
Yeah,
or
succulents.
grow
Yeah.
succulents. Okay, plants.
Yeah.
And sold them as gifts as well as other things. 7 years to get wheelchair van. Okay, and she got that van. She was
Right?
okay. The person that tells me I'm tired of being broke frustrates me. Okay, so she's tired of people talking. She wants people to do something about it, and
Yeah.
that's what you said. Picture what you could do with that $20.
Yeah, because you're gonna stay broke if you this is the only picture you have. And you are
Mm-hmm.
doing a whole bunch of things not to feel any other way because you're so used to the struggle bus that anything beyond that, you eat yourself back into it, you waste time back into it, you do everything that you can back into it. And when I tell people that you got back there, they're like, but kind of didn't do that. Yes, you did. You did it with so many different areas, and then you allow other people to come in and wear you down more so you keep doing it, but you don't notice that you do it because you're so used to doing it. I can't tell you how many
Mm-hmm.
times I've spoken to people who I got into their businesses and I'm like, oh my God, this is a gold mine. This is such a great business. And I'm excited for them. And they're like, what are you talking about? I don't make any money. And then I sit down with them and I show them all the money that they were making, all the drainage that was happening for the money. And that's why they don't have any. But it's not because the business wasn't making them any money.
Mm,
They didn't know how
mm.
to manage the money. And I digress. I go right back into, I think I talked about it last week, where when you set up a business, even if you don't know how to keep books, the main thing you should really focus on is understanding what I'm bringing into the business, what number that is, the time I'm going to spend doing this business, and it's going to take a long time, but it's okay. Noted that. And what it is, who am I selling to, and all that other stuff. You got to know those things, because when you do, everything that you do after that is is working off of the base. It's working off of what you set off. A lot of people don't like business plans, but it doesn't have to be big and cumbersome, but it has to be something so that you can go back to. A business plan really allow you to write your business statement. It allow you to write your vision statement. It allow you to talk about finances in the most simplest way possible. And it allow you to focus, to set a focus so that you know what you're working towards. And when you have those bases down, you go to work on it. You go to
Mm.
work on it day and night. Yes, you go to work on it, because when you do, you're going to see the results. You're going to see a difference. You're going to move forward. I talked to a client on Monday, and I was saying to her, I said, "You where you want to be is not where you're at right now. And although it seems like it's taking so long to get you off the ground, if we don't do it right, you're going to be back where we are right now next year. So we got to do it right. We got to get you to the right place at the right time. We can't rush it, because if we rush it and you don't understand these basics that I am moving her through, although it's going to seem great, you're not going to she won't be able to do the long jeopardy. She won't be in it for the long haul. She wouldn't stay in it if she doesn't do the groundwork.
Wow. So the groundwork is personal finance.
Part of it is personal finance, and part of it is managing your emotions.
Ah, woo.
That was the
You
big
said a
part.
mouthful there.
That was the big part. That was really the big part. We sat on there for minutes. Managing money is one thing, but managing your emotions is I'm gonna tell you, it's a hard one, but it's doable. This is the part that excites me. It's doable. It is so doable. Baby steps, but it's doable. We
Okay.
hear about um different the avalanche or the snowball effect. Ramsey like talking about that when we talking about debt.
Yeah.
But the reason people like the snowball effect is because you feel better when you pay off the first debt. And it's like this release that happened, and you can do more. But the avalanche allow you to pay off the higher interest first, the higher interest bill first,
Hmm.
because it saves you financially. But the snowball allow you to get an immediate response, so more people love it.
Yeah.
None
More
is right or
personal.
wrong. It's
Yeah.
just how your emotional intelligence are, how you feel, who you are as a person, and you alone can figure that out. But it's doable. I don't necessarily like Ramsey approach to a lot of things. He just screams and carry on for
Yeah. I don't like his.
I think
Yeah.
at all. That's just me.
I think he's pretty. He's pretty raw. Go
Yes,
ahead.
yes. So for me, it's not for me, but I understand the concept of things. And Terry would say, I told him before, when I bought a car and I recognized that I paid twice for the car because I didn't know, I was so pissed with myself that I promised that never going to happen again. But I didn't know. I didn't know what I didn't
Hmm.
know, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
I learned from it. So, and I move on, because if I stayed in the guilty state, I wouldn't do anything.
Ah. Yes. That is really. That's really something we really have to learn how to forgive ourselves.
Yes, we so
Seriously.
hard on ourselves.
We really are harder than we are on others.
Yes, exactly. So if you're mismanaging right now, it's not okay, but it's where you're at. Now that you know that you are mismanaging, tighten up tighten up your saddle, fix the seatbelt right, make sure it's fitted right, and then do what you got to do. But don't suffocate yourself, meaning you can't do anything. because that is going to make you go backwards instead of move forward.
Mhm.
It's going to
Mhm.
make you go backward. I don't really talk a lot about that on this channel. I talk a lot about the forward thinking and all the great stuff. But I know that it's hard. And one day, I keep promising one day because I don't like talking about it, but one day I'm going to get in here and actually do actual numbers just to showcase to people when you got a credit card, when you pay this amount of interest on it, what happens, how long it takes you to pay, what you could have done with that money that you paid,
Mm.
and blah,
Oh,
blah.
please. Don't scare. What I could have done with that money. Wow.
And because I want to
Wow.
talk about people doing better, I don't really talk a lot about that. And I can't bring it in here and there, and I don't really go into detail on it.
Girl, we do not want to go down memory lane. Yeah. How you doing, Natalie? Natalie's here
Hi,
this morning.
Natalie.
Yeah.
But to
But
manage your money, you have to understand, you got to track your expense and saving. You don't have to be afraid of it. You just have to track it. You can't throw away the bills. You cannot open the mail because you're afraid of the number. You can't let the number ruin your day or not see the number. You know, there's power in actually seeing the number. I sound crazy, but there's power in seeing the number. One of the big things I
mhm.
have my clients do is open their bank account every single morning. I don't care if you have nothing in there. I want you to open it every day and look at it. And if you have nothing, I want you to see the number that you want to have in there. So your job is about seeing the number that you want to get in there. So that's the first thing.
Oh,
And the
okay.
other thing that I want them to do is look at their budget. Yes, I call the budget. Terry says the happiness plan. I want you to also look at that daily. And the reason I want you to see it daily is because on your budget, there's expenses and there's should be saving, they should be given, which is tied in for us. And people have different things.
Hey,
Hi, Maureen. On there. It's also,
mhm.
if you have credit card debt, that's another part of the budget where you have it stacked of which bill is going to be paid off first in how much time. So let's say you have a small credit card that's going to be paid off in 3 months. You know, every month that you paid off, you can watch it deteriorate itself. On that spreadsheet, that'll be at the top, and everything else that's happening, you can see it on that budget. And so when you're seeing it every day until you're used to watching at numbers and it's not freaking you out, that's why I want you to do it. Once you
Mm.
understand how it happens, after a while, it's nothing. You put it up in 10 minutes, 5 minutes even, you get in there and you're like, boom, boom, boom. This is what I like. This is what's happening. This is great. And you move on your day. You're moving forward. It's not a chore anymore. It's just part of what you do in your business.
Gotcha. So we need to start by fessing up and acknowledging where we are every morning.
Where you are and then where you want to be. Where you are right now and then where you want to be. It's so that you can get off of the guilt train. So you can get off of this place that makes you feel so tiny, so inferior, so bad about yourself because of some choices that you have made. Because you were feeling a certain way when you make those choices. You know, people don't go out and run up a credit card with lots of, remember this person I live with, $25,000 credit card bill. They didn't run it up because they didn't know what to do themselves. They run it up because of some pain they were feeling, things that were happening to them that they were feeling it was out of their control. And this was their hugger. This was their comforter. And I know we look upon them and see, because I know I used to do that and say, well, why would you do that? But after listening to people over and over again and realizing they didn't realize how far they've gone in, and then they didn't know how
Mm.
to stop it. They didn't know how to put the brakes on the train, and so they keep going. And now they're at this place where they really need that card to do really good things now, but it's full, and it's filled with things that was not useful for them, but it was filling the void. It was filling the pain. It was giving them the hug that they think they needed at the time. And it's sad, but they can't stay in the sadness. They can't stay in the guilt. So my job is to always say, write your money story, understanding where this come from, why it's happening to you, and then understand you are not the person that you've been watching and see that happen to you. I was at a party. I was at a party and end up in this conversation because the girl in the party that was holding the party, she actually brought product to sell at the party. It was a kind of a party, and she said, She said a word, and the minute she said it, I went off like that. She goes, "Yeah, being rich sucks." And I'm like, "What?" She's like, "Yeah." I was like, "What are
Oh
you
no.
talking about?" I was like, "Oh my God, but you're selling." And she's like, I'm like, "Why?" And I was into her, and everybody was like into the conversation. For our scrolls, everybody was like, and she's like, tears just came down her face. And finally she says, "Karen," and I ended up holding her hand and we ended up talking about it. She says, "I had a rich aunt. And the way she treated people, I promised myself I would never treat people that way. But the aunt never had kids, but she'd love her. So she used to be a lot at the aunt's house, and she hear how she spoke to the gardener. She heard how she spoke to the housekeeper. She was just a nasty in the way she behaved with people." And I said to her,
Mm-hmm.
"She's not the definition of rich people. She's just who she is. And her money just expanded who she was. It had nothing to do
Yeah.
with money." She said, "So, Karen, until this moment, I didn't realize that's why I don't make money in my business. When I hit a certain point, like my skin is growing when I talk, when I hit a certain point, I let go. And I never understand why I let go until this very moment that you brought me to my knees to talk about why I'm saying I don't want and I don't want. I'm teaching, I'm selling product." She said, "But if I hit $2,000 or $3,000 a month, that's it for me." She goes, "Here's what I do." And I didn't know I do it until you asked me this question. I don't show up anymore to parties. I cancel the parties. I start looking for a job. People can't reach me. I shut off my phone. And she does it simultaneously, but she didn't recognize she was doing it.
Wow.
She had to give up her house because she couldn't afford a mortgage because she was sabotaging herself as soon as the money hit a certain point. Well, she didn't lose the house, thank God. We talk about it. She's like, "I didn't lose the house. My sister said to me, rent the house out because you can't afford it." But when we sit down and talk after, she could afford this house. She wasn't poor, but she wasn't consistently bringing in the income she wanted to, because every time she thinks about making 5,000 or $10,000 a month, she freaks out and she goes into hiding in some shape or form. Some shape or form. She
So
goes
she
into
just
hiding.
turned the spigot off
Mhm.
when she.
And she can't do it. She says, "God wanted me at this party." She says, "Because I was about to cancel because it was cold. We had a little bit of snow was happening, and we all were coming from far." And she says, "I wanted to cancel." And I said to her, "I myself wanted to cancel because I was tired the day." My friend keeps saying, "Karen, please come. Please show up. When you come to a party, we have lots of fun. I mean, we have fun." I was like, "Okay." She's like, I said, "Okay. I don't want to drive that far." She's like, "I'm sending you a car. I'm sending a car for you." I was like, "All right, I'm coming down." And I literally went, and she's like, "This is why you have to come. I didn't even know why you need to be here." This is why. But I tell you, people do this all the time, but they don't know that they're doing it because they haven't identified how money feels, work, and transpire in their brain.
Mm, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And this is probably really, really true amongst different generations, because different
Mhm.
generations were taught, oh, if you have too much, you're greedy,
Yes.
or you're selfish, or because you want more, da 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 da. When in fact, if you had more, you could help more people.
Right?
You could
Right?
do the things, yeah, you wanted to do over and above
Yep.
just you and yours.
Yes, yes, you could
Hmm.
do lots more. You're not greedy. You're still being productive. Matter of fact, when you have enough money, you have this freedom. Excuse me. You have this freedom to do the things that might have seemed silly years ago that you
Yes,
couldn't. You have the freedom to literally work in the area that you want to work in passionately and not worry about how much it's going to pay you, because you have the freedom of not needing money. You
yes.
just serve it. And this is what most people in this world want to do, is serve. But they have to pay because they have bills to pay. So they have to
Hmm.
pay. But you have this freedom. A lot of us is going for financial freedom, right? Lots of people want it. But understand why you want it. But the minute you get it, you start seeing life differently. When you have enough money, life is a different place. You're in this different place. You're sailing around, not because you're higher than anybody else, but you're seeing and you're filling so many needs that is impossible to count. Everybody you meet, to everybody you talk to, you're touching hundreds of lives. That when you're hurried up, going to work and coming back home, and all you can do is look after your family and barely look after yourself, you can't
Yes.
live lives that way. You just can't. You want to, but you can't. You're too tired. You just can't. But when you have the freedom to have, to do, and be in any place you want to be, spiritually, emotionally, or just physically, that's what the freedom allows you to do. That's what having enough and a little more than enough and then a lot more than enough helps you to do. But you first have to know that number so you could work towards it and work on yourself while you work towards it to be where you want to be.
Well, Coach, I think you've been really, really clear this morning about some of the things that are holding us back in our minds regarding making money. I don't think we even realized that we were repelling the money with our words and with our actions. Like the lady who kept cutting it off. Okay, 2,000 is enough. I can't do 510 because that's just I can't receive it. And learning how to receive things is a whole nother issue also.
There's a whole topic on it. Oh, and I got a whole set of write up on just receiving money and asking questions about it. This give people anxiety to the to,
Hmm.
and I talk about these things just because I experience it, and I always want people to know if you held money in your hand. When I held my first $5,000 in my hand, it freaked the heck out of me. I'm not gonna sit here and try to pretend any other way. 10, I was ecstatic. $20,000, I was like, holy crap. Every level you go up, you freak out. This is normal,
Mm.
by the way. You freak out, you ask all these questions, you go through a lot of things in your mind, and then that become your norm until you reach the next level, and the next level, and the next level. And it always depends on the item you're selling, the things you're doing with. A friend of mine had asked me a long time ago, she said, "Karen, why does my husband just go take the job? They're going to pay him $125,000 a year." I said, "Because he can't receive that kind of money." And she said, "What are you talking about? He knows about big money." I said, "He can't receive that kind of money. This is why he's not accepting the job. This is not because he's not qualified. He can't receive this kind of money." She said, "What are you talking about? He has his own business." I says, "Yes. And every time the business hit
A
$20,000,
certain level.
what does he do? He find a way to sabotage the business in some shape or form. And I watch him do this, not five, not six, probably about 10, 12 times. And then he starts the business, scraping it up from the bottom again. Because he
Wow.
hasn't learned to receive, and he's a guy, so he doesn't want to hear it from a girl. He's in that kind of ratio kind of a person. We'll talk about it and he'll be fine with it, but he'll go back and do the exact same thing because he can't receive it. When they
And
made the
he's
first
not the only.
$10,000 a month, I was their daycare teacher at the time. I wasn't teaching money, by the way. I
Mm.
was their daycare provider at the time when they hit the first 10,000 in their business. And she was jumping up and down and he was happy. But there was something, I wasn't teaching this, but there was something about him that told me he wasn't going to pass it. And I said this to her. She goes, "Karen, why would you say that?" I said, "He's not going to pass 10." She said, "No, we got to make $1 million." I said, "Yeah, he's not going to pass it." And yeah, he didn't pass it because
Oh,
he was who he was. And so you got to be keeping that in mind, guys. You got to keep that in mind. If you're having this problem where you're not passing a certain number, you got to find out what's your blockage. You got to find out what's holding you there, what's keeping you in this path. And I hear all the time, I don't want to make more than 10. What if I don't want to make more than 10? No, you don't know how to get past the 10 grand
mm.
because you automatically will make more than 10. You don't have to worry about that. Because if your number was $1 million, of course you got to pass $10,000. People make $10,000 an hour.
Hmm. There you go.
Just saying. Just saying. So, guys, today we talk about money management. You're a little late, but we talk about money management. We're talking really about it and how you manage your money personally, and then how you transcend that into your business. And that's how you get profits in daily. That's how you make your money. That's how you grow your business. So you can hire people, so you can have subcontractors in, so you can work less, so you can do other things with your time. The first time I brought about 4 hours work, the people were like, well, why? Because you should be working 4 hours a day so you can spend time learning and being creative and enjoying you. That's why I want people to work less. Not because you mustn't work a lot. You will, but you must condense it in such a manner that you spend a lot of time being creative. Because when you're creative, you actually make more money when you're creative. You
And
actually
you smile
function
more.
better. Yeah, you function better. You're happier. You're in this. Oh my God, you're in this place of just awesomeness.
Bliss. Yeah, just bliss. Doing what you love. That's
Yes.
why I say if you're going to start a business, always start with what you love. Coach, we're at the top of the hour. Do you want to sum this up for us real quick?
Yes, today we talk about money management and we talk about personal and business. You gotta, if you didn't catch us in the beginning, listen, go back and listen to the replay in how you set up your debt and how you get out of that, because Terry asked that question. And I think that's important, not only to tell you about it, but to also give you the steps. So I give 3 steps in how you do that. So you can go back and listen to that. Um, how to make sure your business is making money, how to make sure you're working in the right business that is for you.
Mm.
That's the other part. That is right for
Uh-oh.
you. If you're in a business and it's not working, do not feel ashamed. Close the business down and go to what you want to do. Please. In 6 months to a year, you're going to be happy with yourself that you did. You're going to feel happier, you're going to feel at peace, and you can be really, 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 really productive. All right, guys?
There you go. All right, guys. Remember that Coach Caren is here every Wednesday, messing with our minds because our minds sometimes are just a mess when it comes to money. So, thank you. We know we can find you at Profits in Daily.
Daily, yes, Profits in Daily. My group is Entrepreneur for Profits in Daily. Anything that I'm doing, it's Profits in Daily because I want people to really get used to seeing their businesses making money in all the seasons. Every storm, you can make some money in your business. I want you to keep understanding this and keep focusing on that, okay? Because it
Hmm.
helps you. It
Hmm.
helps you to be better in your business when you know that when your business is not making money, you're just sad.
That's true. That's true. That's true. So, and I want you to know that we are so glad that you are telling us that we can make money even in the midst of the storm.
Hmm.
So we're excited about that. So, guys, if you need help with this topic, make sure to contact Coach Caren and follow her on her Facebook page, Profits in Daily. Join her Entrepreneurs Profits in Daily group and get some help, folks. We love you. We want you to run a profitable business that's fun to run. Tomorrow,
Yes.
we'll be here with a happy, healthy
Healthy
habits with
habits.
Robin Shamizo and friends. And she'll be talking about health tips because we need our health so that
Yes,
we can keep our wealth. And
exactly.
sometimes we need our health so we can get our wealth. So,
Yes.
guys, whatever your need is, tune in tomorrow. Let's talk about how to keep our bodies and minds in order so that we can do business better. Now, Friday, we talk tech and English. Don't be scared. Come on over. All the information will be in language that you can understand. And if not, just put a question in the chat and we'll break it down for you. With that, we want to say to you, don't forget to go to the front of your own mind. Have a great day, and we will see you next week. This means it's time for me to